boxing.
Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing okay. Artur Beterbiev retains his WBC and IBF belt and picks up the WBO strap off Joe Smith Jr. by defeating him in the second round, becoming the unified champion. A little bit anticlimactic, I guess, because I think we expected a bit more of a barn burner maybe early from Smith. I thought he might actually get in there and hurt Beterbiev possibly, but you know, listen, Artur Beterbiev is an absolute beast, savage man, and he displayed an incredible ability to box off the back foot and counter punch sharply with that beautiful sneaky right hand. Let's talk about the fight. Okay, so Joe Smith came out, and I mentioned this pre-fight. I was like, he's got to come out and show no fear, take the center of the ring and back Beterbiev up and try to bully him a little bit, and he tried to do that straight away, and I thought that was the right thing to do. He got a bit reckless or careless, but you know what Joe Smith does, he comes in pouring with the jab a little bit. He tries to set the big right hand up, and they must have worked on that quite a lot, Beterbiev's camp, although Beterbiev has been dropping guys with that sneaky right hand where he comes in and leans on it. But you know, he was timing Joe Smith beautifully, and I think when Joe Smith felt that power, game plan went out the window. I also mentioned, I was like, the minute Joe Smith starts fighting frantically, it could be lights out, because you know he has that high guard, and you know, with the uppercuts that come in, it's hard to see uppercuts anyway. They're a very hard punch to defend against. There's many ways you can, there's a couple of ways you can do it. It kind of crosses a different division of opinions on how to defend against an uppercut, but typically you got to try and move your shoulders in to cut the angle off. But when you have the high guard, you can't see. You know, you could move on instinct, but Beterbiev was just moving his shoulder, bing, and he caught him with an uppercut, bing, caught him with another one. Beautiful stuff. But it was that overhand right that started all the damage. Joe Smith felt the power, like I said, and you know, abandoned whatever game plan he had. Didn't know how to box either. All right, and now this is really important, and this comes down to the fundamentals and the foundations and the amateur, or the lack of amateur background. And you know, at some point when you get hurt in fights, no matter how big or strong or courageous you are, you're gonna have to just be smart and have to find a way to get yourself through you know, the storm, if you will. Okay, you know, it's like, imagine a boat in a choppy, crazy, wild storm. You know, if you know what you're doing, you might be able to survive. But unfortunately, Joe Smith didn't have the tools in his toolkit to pull out some back foot jabs and tie Beterbiev up maybe, and just sort of like, you know, take the sting out the fight. He just tried to, like, you know, do what is in his instincts and come forward and fight fire with fire, and that's only going to be when he's a little bit hurt and more disarrayed, and Beterbiev is full on. It's just only going to end up in one way, and that was, you know, a second round stoppage from, you know, I think it was a right uppercut that really did the damage at the end, or a left uppercut then a right uppercut. But as I said, the overhand right was what started all the damage. You know, like, Beterbiev just showed an incredible ability to, you know, he do basically everything in there. If he wants to slug it out and fight and maul you, which is what he wants to do, he will. And if he wants to box off the back foot, he's got hundreds of amateur fights in Russia, and he, you know, he can bring that out if he needs to. The way you beat this guy, I think, you have to be able to box. Obviously, there's an opportunity to come out there and gun him out early. We saw that with Callum Smith. But you know, is that like, he's got so much in his tank? Speaking of that, you know, what I was mentioning about Joe Smith, Beterbiev did that in that fight, so he knows how to do that, and that's, you know, just an amazing tool to have in your back pocket, to be able to box off the back foot and, you know, take the sting out of the fight, and then come back and then recharge and be yourself again. You know, like, so you have to have some serious boxing skills. We've seen the people that have given him a bit of trouble are boxers. Like Vozdek and that German guy actually had a bit of success. I'm not sure whether that was just a lack of inspiration of fighting that guy. It was kind of, in a weird time. So, but you need to be able to box to fight and maybe have a chin. And he's got you got to have a lot of variables and a lot of attributes to be able to hang in there with this dude. And it's going to take a pretty special fighter to beat him. I do think Bivol has the best chance. I would probably favor Bivol slightly, just from his in and out movement and his ability to box and his awareness and his sharpness and his jab and IQ and defensive responsibilities. And then he might have to weather the storm at some point, but I would favor Bivol. Now let's talk about these fights actually, like what's next for these guys. Obviously Anthony Yarde was in the building. It would be, I guess, an interesting fight in the UK, but we would all rather see the undisputed fight. Okay, it's been the year for the undisputed. I would much rather see that. I'm pretty sure every boxing fan would rather get the undisputed. Beterbiev mentioned that too. He gets way more motivated, obviously, for the unifications and undisputed. So hopefully we get that next. If it is the Yarde fight, I think he walks through Yarde quite comfortably, to be honest. At some point he's going to catch up with Yarde and it'll be an inside exchange and he'll just maul him to death. But look, Yarde's got some good boxing ability, but what's going to happen down the stretch? Are you going to be able to keep him off him? He's got some good pull counters and he realistically could hurt Beterbiev, but when you're not fighting top guys like Yarde, hasn't fought anyone since Kovalev. I know he beat Arthur, decent win, I think. Like, how good's Arthur? And then you're fighting Beterbiev. This is dangerous tactics from the Yarde camp, where you're not really, sharpening steel with steel. Yeah, but so look, that's a good fight. It's an interesting fight. In terms of Joe Smith Jr., I think there's some good fights out there. I actually think the Boatsi fight's a decent fight for him, to be honest. I like that fight. That could be entertaining. Good test for Boatsi. Given Smith's tenacity. I also like Smith against Marcus Brown. Good local. Marcus Brown's from New York, Smith's from New York. That's an interesting fight. They're both just coming off a loss to Beterbiev. Stick them in the ring. Let's get it on. But not a great deal to talk about that fight, really. It was only, like I said, a round and a half. But Beterbiev, proved that you need a lot in your tool cupboard to beat this guy. You've got to, like I said, be able to do it for a lot. You got to be able to box, you got to be able to fight, you got to be able to dig down, you got to be able to get your heart checked, you got to be able to get your chin checked. I mean, it's just frightening, really. And this guy doesn't look like he's slowing down. He's 37, keeps himself in tremendous shape inside, and outside the ring, obviously. So listen, the light heavyweight division may have a undisputed champion very soon. I cannot wait for that. That is more great news for boxing. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments section. Did you enjoy the fight? Did you think Smith had a better chance? I know, that was certainly a possibility for Smith to get at him early. And I said Beterbiev might get him out there early, but I thought he would, break him down a bit more and get him out there in the 6th or the 8th. But hopefully both guys are healthy. Hopefully Joe Smith's alright. He'll live to fight another day, and that's all we can ask for. These guys are warriors. So yeah, boxing wins again. Boxing on the edge. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself. Have a great weekend.
Boxing on the edge.